Van Morrison is a singer-songwriter and instrumentalist from Northern Ireland who is famously reclusive and does not court the attention of the press. His musical career started in 1964 when he formed with a band called Them, who were at that point active in London. And his solo career was launched in 1967 after he'd recorded some songs for his publisher and thought they were going to be released as singles, and found out that they'd released it as an album without telling him. His career has spanned since then, and we're on this year his 43rd album and is still going. He has moved around between the US, the UK, and Ireland. And again, reading on the Wikipedia, it sounds like he moves around a lot, but it's been a long career. So I think he's entitled to move around a bit if he wants to. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was Van Morrison's 11th album, and it's probably my first listen to this album, but sometimes I'm not entirely sure. I've possibly listened to it in the past. So I would describe this as being light-ish rock of a singer-songwriter type, with a distinct folk element at times. So it's kind of folk rock, singer-songwriter-ish stuff. So it's got a standard band plus brass going on quite often. There's quite often a violin and various types of violin, and other things that I have tracked down are in here. There's a piano, there's banjo, there's a harmonica, there's a tabla, there's a mandolin, there's a whistle, and there's other things as well. And it's mostly feel-good, boppy along songs. It reminds me a bit of Dexys Midnight Runners stuff in the early 80s that had this real kind of jump to it, and that made you feel good. All the songs are his, except for It's All in the Game. And there's a distinct difference between the first half and the second half. So the first half is shorter, tighter songs, and the second half are longer, more drawn out, and have more of a kind of live jamming kind of feel to them, including breakdowns and things like that, and then kind of, getting set on a few words and going over and over on the same words and stuff, and giving instructions to the band and stuff like that. Which has got a nice feel to it, I have to say. And what else am I going to talk about? So I'm going to pull out a couple of songs. Bright Side of the Road, which is the first track on the album, is a track that I know because it was a hit for him. And I always feel like this track is his take on the song The Sunny Side of the Street, which is a jazz standard. You can see Sunny Side of the Street, Bright Side of the Road. But the other song that it really reminds me is Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves. It's got that kind of really upbeat, happy feel to it. As I said, the whole album is particularly in the feel-good, happy area. Full Force Gale and Rolling Hills have particular Christian references in them. Rolling Hills talks about reading the Bible, and Full Force Gale talks about the Lord and that kind of imagery. I think it was songs like this that led to rumours that Van Morrison was a Christian, but the stuff that I've read up seems to imply that basically he just enjoyed songs like this. So I'm not sure that he really was, that was his faith. Anyway, moving on. Rolling Hills is a very trad folk style to it. It's got a kind of Irish folk feel to it. Is reasonable enough given that he's from Northern Ireland. His voice is quite versatile. It occasionally goes quite growly. His enunciation is not strong. Occasionally he slurs his words quite a lot. This is definitely a theme for him. It's not unusual to this album for Van Morrison. So I've reviewed a few of his albums now, and I've previously found some of his albums a bit lacking, I felt. And I think they're albums that come a bit later than this, and that he kind of settled into a very kind of pastoral, still quite happy, but not as upbeat style of things. But I liked this album. I think it's strong, it's positive, and it's fun. I like the kind of interplay with the band in the second half, where it feels more like they're a band playing music rather than a product that's been pushed out onto the public. And I understand that his previous album to this was very commercially successful, and he had a motivation for this album to actually do music he enjoyed playing more. And so it was a return to what he liked very deliberately. So I think this is a pretty strong album. I liked it. And as always, I'd like to invite you to tell me what you think of this album, or any thoughts you've got on Van Morrison, or, anything relevant. And that's what the comments are for. And I enjoy reading people's comments, and we often get quite a discussion going. So, which is great. So please join in. And that's it from me for now.